But hello everyone, joining you again for another react.
I think like I was here with the passion of a fiery sun. But at the same time,
brighter than the heavens and the stars above.
oh,
Shining brighter.
At the same time, to which I say to Vivian Medrano, clever girl.
Yeah.
All right, but joining you again for the final react of the season of 2 of Hazbin Hotel. Joining me again is, through random order, Wolfgang.
Hello, everyone. Did you know there is Wicked Emerald City wrapping paper? 3 different cardboard cutouts. You can get it as mac and cheese or a fucking wine glass. There's 400 different products for this one damn musical, and yes, this is unimportant entirely, but it's the most hilarious thing ever. So I just knew I had to reference it in my intro. I am Mr. Sayuri, the she-they fanboy everybody knows and loves, and I, by milking Hazbin Hotel Season 2, have become rich and famous on the interwebs. So if there's anything I can thank Vivian Medrano for this season, is thank you for giving me the opportunity to make money off of YouTube because of the amount of engagement I'm getting from accidental rage bait because of your stupid live stream that debunked all my theories that got me tens of thousands of views. So thank you, Vivian Medrano, for repeatedly proving me wrong. You've given me a lot of clout.
All right, next up, Jen.
Maybe first, I may be last. I may be thankful for the fact of to Vivian Medrano.
Jen is dying.
Curse you, Baxter!
I am first and always and forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Amen. Jen. And my last word for this tirade until I have to take a break and take a drink and everything because I have absolutely, this rage cannot be quelched at the moment. To Vivian Medrano, I say, clever girl.
Uh-huh.
Now talk amongst yourselves. Please excuse me while I bang my head against the wall.
Wicked,
right.
the phone case.
All right, next up, Second and Day.
Or just Second Day. Ran to bed and there was nothing I could say to stop her. Hi there, this is the Second Opinion, operating without my second. Lonely. But from a critic first and a fan second, Hazbin Hotel season finale!
Let's go!
A big deal or something.
Jen is dying.
All right, and then
I
next
got
up,
to the wall.
Gator.
All right, then. Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Hazbin Hotel season finale consciousness. My name is Gunmetal Gator here, and I'm here to reenact my thoughts about the season finale and the whole of season 2 for Hazbin Hotel. And yeah, let's just go ahead and have ourselves a nice little conversation over this conference.
Let's go, Gator!
Let us have a reasonable conversation. Not just the fact they pulled the absolute clever. But you're right.
But just to sort of start out the discussion is like, do y'all get the reference now to Rainbow Rocks?
Yes.
I think the laser beam,
The power of friendship has found us again.
The power of Overlord friendship again.
But
Which
I
means
guess
the power of friendship. The power of friendship is not just in Equestria. It's in heaven and hell.
No, I mean, I guess they're all singing the song and sending out the energy beam thing that's solving the problem, so sort of.
The energy
and it ends in a
beam
rainbow
thingy.
burst of a rainbow.
Once again, the power of friendship compels you.
The power of friendship compels you. Its power is absolute. That even heaven and hell must bow to it.
Yeah.
But just
Care
to,
Bears stare!
But just to go from that song, I do want to bring up one thing, which is a fun fact I remember learning when I was researching some of this episode and some of its reactions. So, what are your thoughts about Abel's song sequence?
It's so fucking peak. I
That
love
was
it.
really good. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Will.
there might be
about
sort of
to
reason
taste
behind that because, yeah, uh, speaking of Viz, she sort of wanted to, for the son of Adam, since he's sort of a rock star, she wanted to sort of get a rock star in there. So she got the lead singer of Fallout Boys to be the voice actor of Abel.
Let's
Oh.
go.
No way!
Oh.
The lead
Am
singer
I,
of
am I
Fallout
supposed to
Boy?
do something? Am I? Am
Oh.
I?
The lead singer of Fallout Boy? What?
I mean,
No
Oh.
way.
well, I mean, like they did get ketchup for like that one moment, so hey, I can't be unbelievable about that. Getting star talent like
my
that.
God. Wow. Wow. Hazbin Hotel really has been stepping up and balling out.
Mm,
Yeah,
Oh.
Fallout Boy.
Dude.
Fallout Boy.
And the fact,
Uh.
okay, one little thing I got to say about this, the fact when
My stupid emo boy heart is going
the
crazy.
fact that Abel, was it just singing or speaking and singing?
Ooh.
Was it just him singing, or was it Abel
Just a
talking
Queen
and
Bee
singing?
thing.
I think it's the
Talking
only
and
voice actor
singing.
listed for him, so
Okay,
Never been, never been so
Hold on.
worried now.
but the fact when he was saying, "Bitch, you better step down," and you saw Adam behind him, and it was like, oh man, I was like, wow, Abel's balls just dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like-
Abel's balls just dropped. But the thing is, and when you saw Adam behind him, at the same time, I was like, whoa. But then at the same time, like, bruh, you shouldn't be kind of emulating your dad. But at the same time, in that case,
taking his role.
that was the only thing that kind of put Loot in her place, like a good little girl.
but
Well, I mean,
But
like,
in
it
her
just
place
kind
by
of
Abel.
it kind of
Like,
stood to
Abel's
reason
balls
on
just
one hand.
dropped right there, and I was like, "Go, boy!"
Well, it kind of stood to reason on one hand that Abel, I mean, like Adam had all this power just by virtue of being Adam,
Right?
the first man, the archangel, and whatnot. So it stood to reason that Abel would have at least some, that he would be able to whip out some power himself.
I got a little question here about Abel. And I'm wondering if this is going to be answered in the next season. Does he know how he died?
That's it. He honestly, I mean, the closest thing we get to a reference to Cain is in Abel's song, the first part where he said, like, if he wishes he wasn't the son who doesn't fight or is not.
It was like he wishes he was the braver son.
yeah,
Okay,
braver
so yeah, he
son.
considers-
braver son.
Yeah.
Cain the braver son, but I mean, yeah, we have, that's the closest thing we've gotten to a reference to Cain of all places. And honestly, Abel's character has, like, basically, he wasn't going anywhere the whole season. They just introduced him to be Milquetoast the person. He was a bit of a gag character and something to springboard off of. So I think that, like, the fact that Loot came out of the gate with such a strong build-up in the first couple episodes, or well, specifically the second episode, I think, for the payoff, such as it is this season, to be, a capstone, or at least a pivot point in Abel's character arc. I could see a lot of people having pushback to that Loot barely ended up featuring, and that and I do say it is kind of where Hazbin Hotel's fast and loose style, for as much as it pulled off quite a juggling act in the action bullet points of its climax. I would say that's one that comes off maybe a little clumsy, but I don't know. The moment itself for Abel is not bad. It's just like, all right, y'all need to recognize, though, if you want us to keep listening to you on that one, that's not the end point of this. That's the beginning. That's, all right, Abel and Loot have a new dynamic now, and she still really cares about what she cares about, and he still really cares about what he cares about. So what's next?
I think what this summer, what this basically sets up is, like, for this whole season, basically, Luke originally tried to go the right path and essentially like use heaven's forces to go get like to try to exterminate hell. However, she was basically sidelined and put Abel in charge and all that. However, she's basically using the fact that he was basically a pushover to sort of still push for her own position.
Yeah, he was the last thing she expected to stop him, and instead he's exactly what ended up doing it. Like, he is going to be an obstacle there, but it's like,
but that's my point though, is like I feel like she was pushing for him the whole season, but since he is an obstacle now, since he will rein her in, that means she can't go the right path. So that probably means her plans is still going to be there, but she's going to be more indirect and sneaky and underhanded about what her plans now, because all right,
I actually have a
very possible.
So Gator is gonna be right back, but like I have a theory about that, where I think that what's gonna happen is that Lute is gonna try and pull something against Hell while they're trying to welcome Hell, and she's gonna get caught. And you know how like Sarah thought that Emily was gonna be the one to fall, and the entire fandom thought that Emily was gonna be the one to fall, and then she didn't, and now Sarah is completely on Emily's side. But now Sarah has been building disdain for Lute more and more the entire season. So what I think is what's going to happen is that Lute is going to try and go behind Sarah's back, and right as she's about to do something terrible to Hell, she's going to get caught by Abel, dragged over to Sarah, and then Lute's going to end up falling and have to pay for everything she did by being trapped with the exact sinners she swore or to vanquish by becoming one of them. I think that Lute is 100% going to be the next one to fall, because everyone thought it was Emily, but now Sarah is fully on Emily's side, and
Right.
Sarah has been building anger towards Lute the entire season, and with the way that Lute looks back at Hell, and the way that, Viv confirmed that Lute is going to be, like, potentially the main villain of the next season, my theory is that Lute is going to look over and see, oh fuck, I was caught. Abel is gonna drag her all the way over to Sarah, and then she's gonna be forced to be with those same sinners that she swore to never be like.
What if another thing? What if for one other thing about Abel? What if Abel has no idea what happened to him? What if Abel has no clue?
That it was just a blind side and nobody told him.
What if Abel has no idea that Cain, if there is a Cain, if we see Cain in this, what if he has no idea what happened to him?
I feel someone would have told him at some point, because it literally is one of the most iconic Bible stories.
Yeah,
right.
Well, I mean, but it does just say that Cain struck out at Abel and killed him. Like it would totally not be the biggest stretch if they said that Cain did it from behind. Abel died instantly, and then Adam was just like, "Hey, where's Cain? Yeah, whatever. We're here in heaven." And just
exactly. I have to remember the biblical story. I have to remember the biblical story if Adam and Eve were still alive when Cain and Abel were born. They're obviously alive, but when the whole thing that happened, if Adam and Eve were still alive when Cain had murdered Abel. I'm trying to remember if they were,
Honestly, I remember when I read the quote unquote unabridged Bible, nobody told me exactly what, but regardless, all those passages just go by so fast and don't specify things. For as epic as we build up the story of Adam and Eve and Eden, it really does play a little bit like, baby's first fable. That's the way it all goes past.
As someone who was raised atheist, that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
boy, what can I say?
There's a lot more in the New Testament based around Solomon and David than there is about Adam and Eve and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Noah, David, and Solomon get a lot of focus of the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Adam and Eve goes by really fast.
No doubt. When I maintain what if Abel has I don't know, he has this I think we have this idea that Abel kind of idolized his father and such, and what if the one thing that turns him against his dad, at least kind of dashes all his illusions about his dad was in finding out what happened to him. Was finding out. And besides, what kind of because
finding out about what happened to himself or what happened to his dad.
No, finding out what happened to him, to himself. Finding out what happened to himself, that how he died and how he died and got into heaven or whatever. And because I would think like those that are murdered immediately go to heaven or something. I don't know. But finding out what had happened to him, that say Cain had killed him, and Adam was like, fuck it. I was like, fuck it. He's weak anyway. He's weak anyway. You're strong. If finding out that Adam had known what had happened to him and just was like meh about it and did not give a shit.
That sounds like the Adam we know, most certainly.
Exactly.
The thing is,
that's the one thing. What I was thinking when he first puts the helmet on, he says, "Bitch, you better step down to loot." You know, like a big Dom Daddy or whatever. But not only I was cheering for him, I was like, yeah, Adam, yeah, Abel, like your balls just dropped. But at the same time, like, you shouldn't model yourself off your dad, because I had this like thing, and it was like, hold on a minute. That literally just popped in my head when I saw that scene. When I saw that scene, I had that, and then I thought, wait, your dad probably facilitated your murder or something.
No,
I'm thinking maybe
he already knows.
You got to think twice about that. You know,
he already knows his dad hated him. Like, that's established in in his introduction. So like, it's not it's already a troubling relationship.
That's still that still sucks. I mean, when you have a parent who, like, is kind of a dick, but yet you're so desperate for that parent's love, you're willing to overlook that.
But I think this episode also
Abel in this case.
I think this episode, though, established that even though Abel is acting more like his dad, he is not his dad.
Oh, of course.
His action here was to clearly stand with Emily and her decision to stand up against. Like, she could, like, if he was he wasn't just neutral about it, he sided with Emily, and like even went above Sarah's order, because Sarah didn't know about Emily trying to save everyone at the time.
True.
She was just trying to get Emily back. So even if he was just following orders, he would have taken Emily back. But no, he clearly took a side with Emily's cause. So like it's clear he actually has a conscience about this and does want to help save sinners in hell.
Right.
So that I feel that, like, I don't think you have to worry about him going corrupt.
That's true. I'm not really worried about that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do wonder, though. I mean, like, while we didn't get much from him this season, there is room for a lot there. That, like, after, what a towering presence Adam was last season, and even his shadow is over this season. Yeah, Abel is the meek child who has a really complicated relationship with that. Like, he seems to respect Adam as his dad, but also know that there was no love there or real concern, and now he's given the same job and expected to step up to the plate the same way. There's a lot of compelling back and forth on the table there if they want to use it. But I mean, yeah, we basically got step one of whatever kind of arc is going to play out there. So I mean, there is, like, the whole world is open to them there, and they haven't claimed any of it yet. Like, I think it's almost hard to do anything but pure speculation until they start making more steps.
Right.
But you see going on from other things this season.
I have a lot of I have a lot of thoughts about these two episodes that I've been keeping in my head.
We also got not just one but two kinds of, like, red things to look forward to in the next season, because now there's something else going on with Angel Dust, and there's something else going on with Angel Dust. Charlie still has her deal with Alistair, And
Oh no, she already completed her deal with Alistair. He
that's right.
cashed it in by forcing her to say that Vox is the strongest sinner in hell.
Right,
Yep.
right. And that in turn broke both of
His
his
deals with Lilith. His
Well,
deals
no.
with Lilith and his deal with Vox.
To be technical, it didn't break them at the same
Lilith,
time. It was
not
one.
with Lilith, but with Rosie.
It was one.
Yeah, the
broke-
touching Charlie's shoulders is what allowed him to actually get out of Vox's chains
Right.
Yeah,
and
it
start
wasn't.
fighting him.
Yeah, it wasn't like at once. It was like one and then the other. But it was
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, tell him you're the most powerful sinner in hell. Vox is the most powerful sinner in hell. Thank you, Charlie. Ha
And then, like, you fucking creep. You always do that, and I hate it. And down the
basically-
shoulders.
Basically, reminder to the fan and the Alistair is canonically Arrow Ace. He is disgusted
Yep.
by anything.
Actually, disgusted by anything. Go ahead.
He is on the side of the asexual spectrum that's fully sex repulsed. So anything in relation to touch like that makes him unbearably uncomfortable. So
Well,
he definitely would remember that.
That's
Well, I looked it up. Like, there are stills. They made sure to weave this in. Vox, they didn't just have Alistair make that up on the spot. Vox does, in fact, get handsy with people and touch them on the shoulders constantly without saying
also,
they'd like a pat.
Another thing about an earlier episode, Rosie had tried to touch Vox and everything, and he kind of slapped her hand away at the first time her voice came through the radio. And he
Al straight up is not only like sex repulse, but even like touch repulse. He just wants no one near him at all. He is on the way end of the Arrow A spectrum that everything fully disgusts him.
Yes,
So
yeah,
he was not gonna fucking take that.
Yeah,
Well, the
pretty-
fact that it might actually be a little bit of handsy creepiness from Vox is probably like why, like, what gave it just enough teeth to sink into Alistair's sensitive spot.
right, and he had said to Vox, and he had said to him, like, you're not to lay a hand on Charlie, and I guess Alistair knew Vox enough that he's more touchy-feely, so you knew at some point he was saying so patient at the time. He's like, okay, he's gonna do something stupid, and sure enough, Vox did.
Yep.
He laid he laid both his hands on her. So there you go. The deal was off.
The
He was
deal
just
was
filing it in
off.
his mind of he meant don't hurt Charlie, which I kind of thought was going to turn out to be like something to do with what's the cannibal lady's name? Rosie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to have to do with her interest in Charlie, like she wants Charlie to emerge or something like that, and then right when Vox needed to stop her, he wouldn't be able to because of what Alistair said. But no, instead it turned out that he was just like playing a word game with
break
Vox.
one deal, break two deals, break all the deals. Alistair's free.
Right.
Yeah, so we still don't know what her interest in Charlie or in making Alistair do what she made him do. We don't know what her interest in any of it was yet, but
Not really.
though,
yeah,
going
it's to
back-
be revealed.
though going
Yeah,
back
I
to
actually
the,
have a friend who's on the Arrow A spectrum of like being like fully repulsed by everything, and I can tell you from knowing her alone that Alistair's reactions to Vox are completely fucking justified.
I guess so.
But going back to Rosie, though, it's like this episode changed my thoughts on her. Before, I thought she was more like the Rue, or the idea that she's like basically the embodiment of evil or something like that. Some of those ideas. She seemed to have genuine concern about like the hotel cast dying, and in terms of like it's like, oh, my plans are worried, but more like she actually does care about them in some way.
Mhm.
So I'm starting to think that she's not necessarily the source of all evil, or she's like the most villainous. Because she definitely seemed to be portrayed as the less villainous of the two between her and Alistair. So I'm thinking she might be sort of the I do terrible things for the right cause, or what sort of thing.
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess if I had to pick a vibe that I feel watching it, it seems like she's that sort of that flavor of true neutral, trending towards neutral good. Like, I mean, I get, well, you could say lawful good because she makes all these deals with Alistair and with Charlie, but I mean, like, the fact that, yeah, so like what started this in the first place is Alistair's some rando who's really evil contacting her out of nowhere, and she's like, no, I could use this. Like, there's any precedent for that, or anybody would approve. Like, I don't know. She seems to have her own agenda and things she cares about, but like at a certain, not honor, but like sense of decency on some level, or like doing right by people who deserve it. That does seem to enter into it. So yeah, it's
that's my point though, is because before I thought she was like there. I was into the theory that like she's Rue, the embodiment of like the root of all evil.
right.
However, with this episode and all, like I don't get that. I agree with what you're saying. Like she does seem to have maybe not good, but like more on the neutral or more leaning towards a good side. Like she does have a sense of honor. So I don't think she like that does not at all sound like the root of all evil or like the ultimate evil sort of force.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, she was offended by the thought that Alistair would walk off and leave them all to die. And even by the fact that that would happen, it seemed like she was bargaining for their lives a little bit. So yeah, it seems like, well, like while she does seem to have her own agenda and she does seem to be like self-motivated first and foremost, there does seem to be a thread of goodness to her character that you can't ignore now.
Yeah.
Or you can't like just write off as like, oh, that was just part of the agenda, like when she helped Charlie. So still waiting to see where she's gonna drop. They've built up her mystery a lot now, and they've tied the entire mystery of Alistair to her, and now that they've separated the two, severed them, now it's almost passed completely onto her. Why was she doing all of this?
But yeah,
And now we can learn even more about that backstory now that, they're both free from each other. So now that they can roam freely without each other, we can probably learn more lore about them.
Yeah.
I'm still shocked that in the end, Alistair and Rosie joined in the big old sing along at the end.
Yeah. It's a funny image, right?
It is a very funny image. I'm like, what in the? And then I'm like, okay, I get it. This adds to the big old kumbaya moment, but what the heck going on here?
Yeah. Speaking of Alistair, I mean, shout out to DC here for correctly guessing that while Alistair would help kick Vox to the curb, it wouldn't be an instant takeover himself. Alistair is still pursuing just his own agenda, whatever that is. And while he didn't go back to status quo, it is more of a return to status quo with him than I was speculating it might be. So that was one where DC was correct in his guess.
Yeah, and also like I do feel like going off of like taking over Vox's thing, I do definitely think he's took inspiration from Vox's idea to use Lucifer. Like you could see him, he was definitely like, well, that's why he's at the hotel now, because he realized like Vox's plan was stupid and just like short-sighted. Like I think I remember hearing a comment about this. It was like, he never still answered how he plans to actually get up to heaven. He never answered Valentino's question still. But
this might be surprising to you, but I don't understand.
Like,
I don't understand.
Yeah, so like that was answered. But like going back to he might have still got the idea like, oh yeah, using Lucifer's power, like which he can easily manipulate as he can't directly hurt sinners. Like I feel he's like, oh, I can definitely use this. So and also I want to just go back to Lucifer himself. I feel so like it feels so weird to say, but I feel so sorry for him. Like like Charlie, like I even put this like Charlie, like even though she makes a lot of mistakes, it seems like the way she just treats her dad, who's just like so loving and like, and she basically just teach him like shit, and like completely obsessed with the parent. The parent that like went out for milk and never came back.
Yeah.
It's like Charlie, like he literally wants to do anything to connect with you and all that. Like, treat him better. Come on.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
you do want there to be like a big hug between Charlie and Lucifer after the blow up at him that never came. But to be fair, to contextualize it, like, yeah, Charlie and Lucifer's relationship is both of them spiraling for a few years. Like, yeah, Lucifer drowning in rubber ducks, Charlie, whatever, limb she was out on before deciding to start the Hazbin Hotel, and then reconnecting over the hotel for what ended up being a really kind of beautiful in its own right reconciliation, which is the note that they're on through last season and into this one, where they have that nice conversation about how, they both feel about Lilith abandoning them, how she would steal the show and then abruptly left them both like she was too good for them or something. And I mean, like, the thread of their reconciliation and their improving and actually, pretty loving relationship in its own right is there. It's just, we at the end we hit a blow up at each other, one of the many fights we had for that matter, just like the one with Charlie and Vaggie and Angel and Husk and et cetera, and just, but where all of those had a note of finality, like Charlie and Vaggie's reconciliation, Angel and Husk's no, I am too toxic for you. We just sort of didn't get to Lucifer. I mean, presumably that would be just like one argument like all the other ones were. It's just the last we see of Lucifer is, I'm tired and drained. And then wandering around the hotel later doing whatever his business is there. I mean, like, nobody really carries themselves, not him, not Charlie, like they're actually still mad at each other, or like their relationship wouldn't go back to what it turned into last season. It just plain didn't get to that.
Honestly,
no, it's definitely being set up for next season with her mom finally picking up. So
I have a
there could be an aspect of maybe they're leaving on that. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit and they're leaving us there on purpose so that they can do the Kung Fu Panda 3 thing, if not the drop beat dad thing with Lilith and Lucifer.
Thing is that I've been having a bit of a flame of absolute rage in the back of my head since I watched both these episodes that I've been trying not to be too vocal about, but the one time that I did get vocal about it, I got a lot of views, so whatever, I'm pulling it again. I think that while this finale does execute the points it wants to get done, how extremely rushed it is, and everything just seeming a little bit off when it comes to the writing, just literally can't be understated. Because, let's go. First point. Why the hell did they build up Loot just to do that? I know that Viv already confirmed that Loot is going to be the main villain for Season 3. But why the fuck did you give her that whole song and give her so much focus throughout the season just to have her defeated that easily and then say, oh, we're doing it in Season 3? If we're doing it in Season 3, then why not save Gravity for Season 3? Why do it now and get people hyped for her character arc just to have her tossed aside for Abel's big moment, which, while I do love that scene with Abel, at the same time, it makes no sense. Because why introduce a character that you're only going to use to get another character out of the way to be used in a future season? Like, I think that Abel deserved better, and I think that Lou deserved better in the season. Abel got literal crumbs, and Lute got even less than crumbs, and was just tossed aside. And the crumbs that she did get was one of, if not the best song in the entire show. And she was just wasted and thrown to season 3, all because we need to have Vox look like more of a threat. And now to Vox. Fuck, I know they're trying to set him up as a good villain, but psych, I'm not talking about Vox. I'm talking about fucking Lucifer. I get that Viv needed a reason for Lucifer to be this big power source. Lucifer is the king of hell. He's a little bit silly. He likes things like ducks. He is a silly guy. But at the same time, he's never been shown to be this goddamn stupid before. And I don't get why they had to portray him as this literal idiot who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing just to get the plot across. There was like 20 different ways they could have set up that trap. And yet they set it up in the goddamn stupidest way possible. And if people try to make the excuse of, oh, he copied Charlie's voice, he's a TV! Lucifer still shouldn't have fallen for that. It's an abandoned warehouse. And Vox is a TV. Of course he can mimic people's voices. It's the stupidest thing ever. And the fact that, it was made by... he doesn't know who Carmilla is? Bullshit. He literally is the king of hell. Why wouldn't he know who the overlords are? It makes no sense that he wouldn't know who Carmilla is. And also, still, it's stupid because they're at like the top of the hierarchy. Why doesn't he know?
Because the hierarchy changes every like couple of years or so. Like, no, that's like it's made. I forget what's his name, the spider guy.
It just drives me crazy because like I get that he doesn't care about his subjects, but he should at least know that, considering that, I don't know, he lives in the hotel with Charlie and Vaggie talked to Carmilla multiple times. If he just has that bad memory, then I don't think we can trust this guy with anything. Plus also, I get that he's an angel and that, it's an angelic weapon, but once again, I think that he's the king of hell. He shouldn't be that easily trapped in that contraption. I know that he's an angel, meaning that something made out of angelic steel is something he just can't escape from. But I feel like it's just a last-minute plot device that he can't and harm angelic steel, and that which makes way more sense than the fact that he can't hurt sinners, which genuinely feels like Viv just clutching at straws and finding some way for Lucifer to not destroy the plot instantly. Because here's the thing, when you have the King of Hell as one of the main characters, you gotta nerf him somehow to make sure that he doesn't overpower every single other character, and that's the reason why they had to give him the whole, oh, he can't hurt sinners thing. The way that they justified this was reasonable by, his punishment for being in hell, that he can't hurt them, he can't kill them, he can't do anything to them as his punishment for being in hell. They justified it well. It's just the base concept itself is stupid and just a way to make it so that he can't instantly solve the conflict. Which if one character, if he wasn't nerfed, can instantly solve the conflict, then there's a problem with your conflict. And then fucking Vox, at the same time, he was building up to this season so much. He was so smart, and yet we never see what his plan was to even get into heaven. The only thing that we see him do is blast that force field. He doesn't do anything else. And at the same time, after all that, he throws his plan in the trash just to kill Alistair, which is so stupid because he could have legitimately stopped all the overlords from doing the power of friendship thing if it wasn't for him getting carried away to try and kill Alistair. Like, he was literally vulnerable to Valentino ripping his head off because of Alistair. Like, literally, if he wouldn't have tried to kill Alistair, then Valentino wouldn't have had that easy of a win. And also, beefing up Valentino, I get that they're trying to make him a more interesting character and giving him more layers. I get it, I do. But I think that it's really stupid that they added all these abusive traits to Vox to try and make Valentino seem like less bad. Because, like, sure, Vox is abusive. Like, physically abusive and mentally abusive. Valentino is mentally, physically, and sexually abusive. Valentino is still worse. And it's still, like, I still fucking hate that they kept trying to make him sympathetic. Because he is an abuser. He's abused everyone who he's worked for. he makes love potions that allow sinners to get raped. And it literally shows in the background of multiple scenes, Velvet and Valentino making the love potions. He's a truly despicable, horrible man. And I am just grossed out by the fact that they tried to make him sympathetic in any way, shape, or form. It just seems like a bad move. Especially
they tried to make him comedic in this.
It feels kind of weird from Valentino, though, especially since Viv has gone on whole rants about how much she purposely tried to make him serious and how she's trying to be good representation for victims. But it's just like, you can't tell me that after she goes on all those rants, that the same Valentino that goes on the rant about how, he's just a man is the same Valentino who gives that evil smirk to Angel Dust when right before Angel decides to leave the hotel. Like, you can't tell me this is the same character. I get giving more personality and layers to a character, but they added so much to him so last minute that in certain scenes, it seems like he's an entirely different character. Like, per se, when he lures Angel into the trap to get trapped by Vox, and once again, when he goes on that little song before talking to Velvet, he seems like a completely different character. So it seems like they've added so many random aspects to his personality that he doesn't seem like the same character anymore in certain scenes. And even if you scrap the whole thing I said of it feeling gross about trying to make him sympathetic, if you scrap that, it still feels kind of weird because they've added so many personality traits to him that in certain scenes, it seems like he's being written by an entirely different person with an entirely different vision on how the character should be written. And that's not a good sign that he's so inconsistent when there isn't even that many writers on the show. Most of the writing is still done by Viv, so like, if he is that inconsistent, then that's not a good sign. And also, I get that they finally gave Velvet more fight scenes, but that still doesn't compensate for the fact that they literally had the V's as the main villains. The V's, and yet fucking Valentino still got more screen time than Velvet. Velvet was downplayed even worse than Lute. She gets even less screen time and even less importance than Lute, in fact. And the thing is that they made a ton of merch and art of Velvet trying to hype her up as one of the three big bads, and they just threw her away at the end. She did nothing. All she did was get beat up by a couple characters in occasional scenes, and that's it. That's Velvet's entire contribution to the story, and also backing up Valentino about hating Vox, even though Valentino already hated Vox, and she wasn't even the one to kill Vox. It was Valentino, and it wasn't even her who decided to pick up a Vox and take him back into the studio. That was Valentino. Velvet does nothing. She is in this entire season. If you remove Velvet from every single scene, the plot doesn't change at all, and that's just sad. Because I was actually looking forward to seeing more of her character. She seems genuinely an interesting and compelling character. We see nothing from her. Every single piece of information we have about her is either tiny little crumbs in the season, or 99% of her character comes from live streams. When you get 99% of a character from live streams, there is a problem. We would know nothing about her if it wasn't for live streams. Like, I'm sorry? You literally hyped her up to be one of the main villains, and she does less than Lute, and people are already complaining about Lute being downplayed. What about Velvet, huh?
I would honestly expect that question to remain unanswered. What about Velvet? She is, like, even more than Valentino. I think she was squarely posited as the sidekick, the assistant, the do-that character, and they seemed like they were having about as much fun with her as you could reasonably expect them to have with such a character. She helps in fight scenes that are to help the V's win, and she hams up her social media gimmick, and she probably was given more things to do than Valentino. Like, the main concern with him seems to be how wrong he's treating Angel. Like, when it's not doing that plot with him, it doesn't seem to actually care about what he's doing that much. So of the two, I almost think Velvet got more to do. So I imagine that the fan base expects from her and received what it expects, that she is the sidekick who does sidekick things, while
Thing is that Velvet
Vox
got
was
more to
posited
do.
as the main character, as
Velvet
the
got
main character, the main villain. Like, yeah, Vox.
Yep.
I mean, that's the plot, that Vox is like, no, there are not the V's, there is Vox and the V's, and I am going to take over everything, and so he tries to do. So is the plot of this season, that he is the main villain and the other two are part of why he doesn't succeed.
The thing is that that I agree with you that Velvet did more in the background. Velvet does more in the background. She does way more than Valentino does in the background. Valentino
Yeah, she doesn't
gets more
really
screen
seem
time
to
every
have
time.
a branch of this. Her gimmick with this seems to be that she's the second punch, the Robin to Vox's Batman, as it were.
Well,
The thing is that Velvet gets a lot. Velvet does a lot. She, in fact, I think that honestly, the thing about her being the backbone of the V's, a lot of the time she fucking carries this team in the background. We never see it in the foreground. We're told that she is the most important out of the V's in certain scenes, even, and she is always in the background. So Vox is still the most important out of the three, obviously. But Velvet is also hyped up to be extremely important in multiple scenes. And she is still tossed aside in every single way, thrown into the background. And I get that Vox and Valentino are basically like canonically misogynistic as fuck. But did they really have to make it so that she does fucking nothing on screen, or like in the foreground at least? Because she does a lot in the background, but in the foreground or even on screen she does like nothing. And the most information I have about Velvet is, once again, the live streams and the wiki page, and she is genuinely an extremely interesting character with so much fucking lore to work with, and yet they use none of it. Like, she has so much potential, and they have used it was like less than 1% of it, and most of that 1% is in the background.
Does this character have a following or something? Because I mean, it seems like, well, I would have had to say honestly that all the interesting stuff, all the, like, this is how the plan advances, this is the evil intention, the evil malice, and this is how the evil way it is put into practice. I think most of that was assigned to Vox and was, yeah, from nose to tail intended to be like, yeah, evil, cheesy game show host personality TV man is gonna schmooze his way to the top, and he's going to tell his secretaries and his assistants and his co-executives, do this, do that, do this, and then they're going to, and then he's going to mess it up for himself by being a douche. Like, I mean, I'm not sure where the avenue is for like, no, there are other people who should be standing shoulder to shoulder with him and be posited as like a part of his thing, rather than as a part of their assistance thing and a part of their rift. Like, they should be focused on something other than their assistance thing and their growing rift with him as he messes that up. Like, I'm sure, yeah, there's things to build fandom lore over, because that's a lot of these characters. They have a lot to them. I'm not sure where, like, the writing is that, like, no, this needs to be reworked from the ground up so that it's cheesy TV man schmoozing his way to the top, and oh so fascinating social media sidekick lady who is part of the vision and part of what you should be focusing on. Like, I don't know, I'm not seeing what I'm supposed to be so compelled by here, that it needs to be reworked from the ground up here.
The main thing is, right, that Velvet doesn't have fandom lore. She has actual lore stated by Viv. The only thing is that Viv hasn't used any of it. So she has a lot of potential. Viv just refuses to use any of it. So, like, I totally get where you're coming from. but that's mainly the fault of the fact that all of her lore is from hidden live streams and wikis compiled by fans with all the official lore that Viv is sprinkled into social media posts. So she has a huge amount of potential. It's just nobody knows it because it's extremely hidden, and it seems like Viv really doesn't care about making it not hidden.
Second, hopefully he pops back up. Second is left. What I was trying to say is with wait, you back?
The second opinion has returned.
All right, but going back to what I was trying to say is I feel like the reason that Velvet doesn't really get any attention is because be frank, she's not really relevant to the storylines because the other V's do have parts. Like with Fox, we think about all him taking over, but it was really just his connection to Alistair since like the pilot. He didn't really care about Charlie and all that. It's more like he wants to basically find out what is wrong with I'm sorry, sort of wait and see. Second pop back in. Hey, return again.
Return again.
My computer keeps doing it's rather annoying.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is like Vox's connection with this, like the main story was through Alistair, which we sort of had that play out this season. And then Valentino had a connection with Angel Dust, which is still going to be playing out in the future seasons.
You're entirely right. That's the main issue with Velvet, because she doesn't have a parallel
that's
character.
The thing, she doesn't, so that's why she's not really getting much spotlight. She's essentially the Hermione of the group, where like she's sort of the background supporting one that's like the brains of the group, but she's not really in the spotlight. Same way of Valentino's, she's more the charm, like show star, like Vox is more the leader.
Exactly.
She's the Hermione of the group, which is like
the reason that Vel doesn't have any screen time is because she doesn't have a parallel character. Vox is connected to Alistair, Valentino is connected to Angel Dust. Because there's no character in the hotel who has a parallel with Velvet, that's why all of her extremely complicated lore we don't get in the main show. Because literally, we never see it because she has no parallel character. So if they finally add a fucking character into the hotel who has a parallel with Velvet, maybe one of Velvet's models who wants to get redeemed, then we can finally learn more about her. But until that happens, I'm scared that she's just going to end up being in the background again.
Well, the thing is, like, besides Valentino, all the V's are going to be put in the background after this because, to be frank, like their spotlight is over. Valentino still kept around just because of Angel, but once that thread's cut, they're just going to be completely background characters, like in the same level as the I forget the news anchor. They're going to be just about
Katie Killjoy.
Yeah, they're going to be about as relevant as Lady.
To be fair, though, I could see Velvet, especially since Valentino, if he's going to be any kind of a threat, he could use some assistance. Velvet is probably going to have more of a chance to make good on that than Vox is, namely because she still has a pair of legs.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, I feel she might feel like, even though she sort of messed up the first Overlord meeting she went to, I feel she might be the V's going there because Vox is in his isolation thing, and Valentino is not the best suited for that. So that's where we might see her more. But overall, I don't think the V's will be that relevant besides Valentino just specifically for Angel. Because I feel we're going to be moving on to bigger plot lines and I think before you said you hinted at Lute might be the main villain for season 3. I think the stronger hint is season 3's villain is going to be Alistair. The way it's busy pop the way she said it. But I think it's supposed to be Alistair. That's where his plot things and Lute's might go from that. I feel Lute, her plot point she's going to be more relevant after she falls. I think we can all agree at this point she's going to become a fallen angel.
Absolutely.
I don't was that leaked or something? Because that.
I know her being a future fallen angel wasn't leaked, but what was said on the live stream is that Lute is going to be the main villain of the next season, and the Morning Stars are going to get a lot more attention. We haven't seen the last of Vox, and Valentino is going to be important in some way.
I guess my thing is like, Luke being the villain, there's about 100 different ways you can do that. And that's like, of course, becoming a fallen angel, like that specifically is where they're going to take that. Like, I don't know, the status of fallen angel just feels like such a technicality. Even the fact that Vaggie, for example, is one feels like almost a background detail. I'm like, I don't know. I guess I don't get the sense from Hazbin Hotel that it assigns such importance to that like it's even worth it to say like, oh yeah, clearly that has to happen to Lute.
But just to be specific, she doesn't say that Lute is the next villain of the season. She says like, because she doesn't want to spoil anything. It's basically like director speak where they don't say directly, but the way she phrased it was something along the lines of like a character that was sort of became a background presence as going to become a main presence and as their own plans kick off, which could be Lute or could also be Alistair. I don't want to say Alistair for certain because, like I said, she likes to sort of like director speak, basically likes misdirect. So it really could be Lute's the main villain. Alistair's moved to season 4, or it could be that reversed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be that like one of them is making things worse in the foreground, and then the other one comes out of the background, kind of like Alistair did to Vox this time around, except where he quickly went back to status quo there, he could, decide to really make things worse this time, or heck, Lute could emerge at the end and seize her opportunity to make something worse. I mean, there's room for things like that, but I mean, clearly they're both working on something, and they both have something important in the works.
Also, I want to mention something because I think I mentioned last time like there was leaks about season. Actually, might have been 2 reacts ago where I mentioned there's leaks about this season, and there's a whole bunch of ones around. Like the one that actually looked into confirmed was the one with Rosie. But one rumor I didn't look into but heard was that Lute would end up killing Lucifer at the end of the season. That's how it goes. So like I heard that, but didn't confirm it. So like that rumor obviously turned out not to be true. So so like if leaks happen again, like remember not all of them will be true, as this is very clear demonstration. But I just want to bring up. So speaking of heaven, that brings me one thing is changing my thoughts on is Sarah. For a while, I was thinking Sarah would be an angel that would eventually fall. Basically, she would be pushed into a corner. But like after this season finale, I don't think that anymore. I think she'll be challenged as a leader at times, but I don't think she's going to fall, like be too locked in the corner, like be protecting, having to do the wrong. I feel she's basically redeemed herself, and mostly because Serpentius, like I didn't see that combo, but it actually makes perfect sense. Like, because Sarah had sort of 2 big demons eating her this season. One was that the fact that her own internal guilt about allowing the extermination, because since redemption is possible, those are potential people that could have come to heaven. She basically killed them. So like, there's a lot of internal guilt from that. And to the other demon that was eating her, there's like she just couldn't comprehend why do they hate them so much? Why are sinners just so like trying to take over heaven like such a threat and all that? And Serpentius, by his presence and his words, sort of like resolved both of those. One, like they sort of like basically because he used like say like since he is redemption, he like as basically a figurehead for redemption, he basically solves the first thing for like saying, hey, you made mistakes, we can all move on from there, sort of thing, like being a very good representation of that. But as the other point, he as a former sinner, he's able to contextualize why they're acting what they want to do. Like it's not because of hate or rage fundamentally, it's because most of them just because of fear. Like they're afraid of like having to confused about what's going on and all that. That's where most of them go like, yeah, Fox taking on heaven, not because they wanted to like personally like destroy it all, but just because like they're afraid of everything that's been going on. So like he was able to basically solve Sarah's problems in a very organic way.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. Like Pentius, that's how they utilized him this season. And I mean, I still, can't let go of how I really the sympathetic route for Sarah after how like flaming eyed, no, the sinners need to all burn she was last season. Like, it was odd to me, but the scenes themselves between him and her did really work. It was, yeah, a good utilization of Sir Pentious.
But also, yeah, going back to her, you mentioned her burning eyes and all, like that sort of goes into the guilt possibly because Sarah's entire like existence and purpose and all that is to protect heaven, and like for basically since existence of heaven and hell, there was no concept of redemption or all that. They're like is essentially like heaven and then hell was just all it existed was a threat. But through redemption, it basically offers the potential like there could have been like people that were exterminated could have come to heaven. That's why she's like such a like it struck her so hard because like now it's like wait, I was killing potential heaven like angels and all that. Like I was that's why it struck her so hard because since redemption is possible, it means like there are potential subjects to be redeemed. Which going back to redemption though, like we still need to see someone redeemed in a non-sacrificial way, which I wonder how far into next season will go before that's done, or even if it will be accomplished. Like redemption like happening without someone being basically self-sacrifice.
So wait, say that again.
I was like, it brings back a thought I've had this because we brought back on the season, like when we were talking about earlier, like who's going to be redeemed next and all that. And then like, it was like, we still don't have resolved like who's going to be redeemed next, but also like, okay, not all these people can be redeemed by self-sacrificing themselves. Who we gotta clear out the rules more because like about redemption.
How you flip a sin. I feel like the only thing that's going to clear that up is more examples. And also, I think the odds just like increased on Cherry Bomb because they pushed Angel down the card big time here. But yeah, they've been building up Cherry and Sir Pentious. I swear, so much about the season 2, like so many season 2s lately, feels more like season 2A. Like there's so many things that were just going to continue like we never stopped in season 3, quote unquote. But
oh yeah, also going back to because you mentioned stuff that Viz said. I think one thing she said about season 3 is that it's apparently supposed to be the most romantic and lover-focused season. So yeah, we're probably going to definitely see some Cherry Bomb stuff on top of other stuff.
Yeah.
I would, if I were a betting man, I would put my chips on her right now for next redemption.
Yep.
Which I think with hers is basically not being the party helper, enabler sort of figure, which we already sort of started seeing, like how she's being very supportive of Angel and like also Husk and
yeah, I mean she's a bit of an outside party who can afford to be shuffled out of the main cast, and come to think of it, kind of sort of so was Sir Pentious. He was a late joiner. I mean, he was originally posited as a minor antagonist. It's like Angel was in the pilot. Husk is really, really deeply connected to Angel's story. You can kind of, I guess, see the gears turning if you look close, like who was intended to be in the main cast the entire time and who is someone who's more likely to be shuffled out, or at least into a role like Sir Pentious is in right now.
But actually, though, speaking of like background characters basically being made into a future role, like Sir Pentious did with he was like there the whole season, like he was the first to be redeemed sort of thing, as a sort of surprise, like a foreshadow, but surprise. We sort of got to see this round again with Baxter, where like in the background we see him interacting with a lot of stuff, especially gosh, I can't remember my Trixie or Little May, what's her name? The stabby demon. What's her name?
Oh, Nifty.
Nifty. I was like, I knew it was Ifty. I couldn't get the first one. I'm so tired of it at this point. But like you see him actually interacting with her throughout the season, playing patty cake with her, helping her create the bug band. and stuff like that. So like we get to see him interacting with the staff before, so we could like. So it was just like, oh, I'm going to help you now. Like, no, you got to see him in the background becoming like a friend and interactive with the main like hotel staff and guests, I guess, redemption one, or we're going to classify them as. So like that was a sort of like background thing that was foreshadowed. Then he became a bigger character. So actually, that reminds me of a funny meme I seen, which is basically it was like with the shipping with Nifty and him was like. Alistair was like it was like a comment fed meme was like it's like Alistair's like wait, are you the one that it was like a picture like a show that let me discover it was like a picture that had it was that one frame that had both Nifty and Baxter together and also Cherry Bomb and Serpentius in the background in the same frame. It was like basically it's like, oh, look at the couples in there, and they had Alistair's like, are you the one that muted Vox? He's like, yes. It's like, I give you my approval.
Let's go.
That's funny.
I give you my marriage approval. You know, that actually reminds me of something that just happened with like fucking like Icy and my current girlfriend where Icy was just like, hey, you know about Survivor? I've watched every episode. Okay, I give you approval to marry my sister.
Next, now I wonder if there's a dowry. I know it's 2025, but I'm wondering if there's a dowry in this conversation. It'd be hilarious if it were.
Just like I've watched every episode of Survivor. Tell me the first few tribes. And then tells him the first few tribes. All right, I give you permission to marry my sister.
You have our approval. You have the approval of the council.
You have the approval of the council because you know about fucking Survivor.
I don't. The council must deliberate. But the council has spoken. You have the approval.
But though, speaking of bad news that Biz said, like the one thing we do have to unfortunately look forward to with the is season 3, which we're looking forward to, but yeah, it will be a while. Apparently, they said there would be a similar time gap between season 1 and 2 to seasons 2 and 3. So a little over a year and a half for that. Like, I don't think it'll be exactly as long because actually, I think that was like a year and 8 months or 9 months, something like that. I don't think it'll be quite that. This is my own personal guess, but I think like a year and a half or something like that is probably a good estimate. The good news though is the time between season 3 and 4 is going to be a lot shorter because they're being like Lord of the Rings being done together, filmed and animated together. So like that gap is going to be shorter. So I would say probably speaking of Survivor, probably a Survivor season sort of thing where it's like 6-9 months later.
Wait, hold on, a Survivor season type thing. Oh. I see Purple going crazy in the audience right now. No. Yes, my sister is very obsessed with Survivor. Yes, my sister does want to go on Survivor.
Oh my god!
Oh, now that would be rough.
Keep in mind,
I don't know about $1 million. I don't know if $1 million is worth all what you'd have to go through on Survivor.
Keep in mind,
seriously,
he is literally 16 and says that there's a possibility that he might be able to get on next year. And the thing is that if he is able to pull that off, he is going to force everyone he knows to watch the Survivor season that he's in. So I'm just going to have to sit there like, oh, God.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
also, you'd be like, don't come back.
Yeah.
Also, for the viewers at home, I see is gender fluid, which is why I mix terms for them.
Yeah. In that case, I feel they would either win Survivor or they would not like Survivor anymore after being stuck on that island somewhere. It's like so. I guess it's a win for you either way. Either you're going to have a rich relative or you're going to never have to worry about watching Survivor with them again.
I'm rooting for Icy to win Survivor.
Here.
Let's go. I'm gonna have to watch the entire Survivor season that Icy Purple is in. Because I've already had to watch a ton of the actual show, and also there's a Minecraft Survivor as well that I've had to learn about, including this one guy who's in the first season of Minecraft Survivor, who I can't even remember his name because he's famous about how forgettable he is. He only has one confessional, and he does literally nothing, and everyone loves him for doing nothing. And I will always remember that because this was the night that I had to buy towels at Target to fix a leak from the sink just to be on a call with Icy Purple talking about Minecraft Survivor. This year has been strange.
Ain't it though? Oh, before I forget, we were saying something about Valentino, which other than being sympathetic, quote unquote, and I would point out that the last thing Valentino does in the last plot beat with Valentino, before everybody joins hands and defeats the explosion thing, is Husk getting a one-liner over him and blowing him out the window with a big fuck yeah. Like, I don't think Valentino was ever meant to be like sympathetic in the sense that you felt bad for him. I think it was character exploration in the sense so that you would understand why he betrayed Vox in more than just because the episode said it was kind of time for that now sort of a sense.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think we're still going to be very much supposed to hate Valentino, which, especially since I think the only thing he did before this last couple episodes was have a montage on what a terrible guy he is, that he can't stop hitting Angel. He has an I can't stop hitting Angel montage. Like, I think it's pretty safe to say that the show does not like Valentino.
Thank God.
No, actually, this made me think is like, since next season's supposed to be apparently like romantic season, this makes me wonder, like, maybe they actually do break the contract with Valentino and Angel Dust at the end of the season. Like, not the Angel's redeemed, but that would definitely help in this process and sort of be an appropriate thing. Like, at the end of season 3, he breaks his contract with Valentino, so he can actually truly go down the redemption route. I think that's what's sort of sending them to redemption in season maybe 4, and maybe we deal with Angel and as an Angel in season 5 or something like that.
Angel is an angel.
Yeah.
Boy.
So I was saying, it's like, maybe we actually do like end up finishing off the Valentino thing next time, because as I was sort of saying with like Vox, like, I keep calling him mid boss, and I know no thing about that in the spoilers and how the season would go. Like, I knew he just radiated mid boss energy, and I feel
radiated mid boss energy.
I mean, yeah.
And I feel like that's where, like, now we're going to the final 3 seasons of the show, maybe 2 or 3, depending. Like, 2 are locked. What, like, a 5th isn't, but like, I have no idea what could stop Amazon from renewing a 5th season. With how like massively popular this show is.
Breaking news: the apocalypse has truly arrived, and TV is no longer a thing.
Yeah. So theoretically,
Amazon forced to not renew its most popular show of all time, Hazbin Hotel.
They were hold on. I have a stupid joke for that. It turns out that random priest was right. It turns out that everyone is going into the sky, and that random priest was correct. The enemy spy.
It's the rapture. It's the real rapture.
The rapture was.
It's the real one this time.
The
Christians
real one
have
this
been
time.
predicting it at once a year since the dawn of Christianity.
They predicted it
really
5
right
times.
This time.
They predicted it 5 times this year, but they were finally right.
They predicted it 5 times this year, every year.
Yeah. That actually happened, by the way. People literally sold their cars and everything. It was really bad, and it turned out that obviously
money
didn't
from
happen.
your car in heaven?
I know. They sold their cars. They put expensive lamps that were worth over $2,000 outside, and were just giving money to people, like big stacks of money to Uber drivers, because they thought they were going to hell.
Sure, you could use this money while you're in hell, eh?
And then it turns out that nobody went up. And there was also people writing fucking journals saying, everyone, make sure to not have your phones locked because the secrets of Christ will be on your lock screen. I'm not making this up.
But let me see. Going back to what I was trying. Yeah. There's gonna be, I feel, a lot for us to discuss. When we go over next discussion video where we actually go over season 2 as a whole.
Speaking of, are we going to do that top 5 songs blog?
Mhm.
I remember you proposing that before. Like we do a vlog. I said blog, I meant vlog. But yeah,
I think, the thing I proposed before was like a top 5, or was the listing of the tiers of MLP seasons. I don't remember anything about a song. That might have been.
I thought you said
remember
Hazbin Hotel songs, like everybody's top 5 favorite songs or whatnot. Which
I remember that.
Someone might have suggested that. It wasn't me because I'm not a music focused person. I have zero rhythm as my very, very hard time at like playing Hi-Fi Rush went. I enjoyed the game, but I
think what you're lowballing here is that it is physically impossible not to have favorite songs from this show. Like they will grab you from 100 different angles and make you pick one. You will find your jam, as Knuckles the Echidna put it.
But actually, it actually goes to one of my explanations why the show is so popular, and we'll definitely get a season 5, if not more. I sort of hope it doesn't go past 5 because I would hope it would be actually just get another spin-off shows like Hello Boss or something like that. Like I don't mind the universe staying, but I would prefer sort of if like this show ends, just because as an anime fan, I prefer shows that have resolutions, not just like the Western approach of like we'll just keep making seasons until it's not popular. I very much not like that. But so far, Viz seems to be eyeing like 5 seasons. So if she stopped 5, good. But going back to what I was saying, oh yeah. Well, part of the reason I feel the show is so popular is because I'm going to be a spoiler about thing. People like musicals, especially international, like in terms of international viewership. People love musicals. There's a reason that Disney Renaissance was full of musical shows. And
there's also a reason why there's Wicked themed wrapping paper. There's Wicked themed wrapping paper.
Well, we knew that was
products on NBC.
We knew that was coming. Honestly, Wicked themed wrapping paper. We all knew that was happening.
Yeah,
yes, but there's also food items.
Because not with Wicked, but like we love musicals, but also Wicked. But in terms of like animation, I feel animation is like it's underrated, like how well it can just integrate a musical song with original music, and also like just like taking a popular song. Like DreamWorks is a master of like integrating like pops like songs into like a good sequence from. Gosh, I think it really started with Shrek, and then they so many movies have like a very iconic like music sequence. Yes, I still remember the Madagascar 3's fireworks song, which is just beautiful. And then like everyone remembers the Shrek 2. Like everyone here has seen Shrek 2, right?
Oh yeah, I Need a Hero.
Yeah, the song the like cover that was everyone agrees is better than the original, or at least on same par.
Or they, at very, very least, added something downright epic to it. Like, I think, what was it? Who was it that pointed out? I don't think it was Shafe Rillas, but it was some Shrek fan who pointed out that like what they're actually doing is remixing the Shrek theme song, the da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na. They're with I Need a Hero. They're like using that sound, remixing how it's played, and like just amping them both up in synchronicity to the point that it gets that epic. Which, I mean, I never would have figured that out on my own, but that is flipping amazing.
I also think we can all agree that we very hope that Abel gets some more songs next season.
Abel,
I mean, yeah,
really
like if he has someone like that voicing him, then yeah, that would be a waste otherwise.
Anybody else?
But I
I'm not
guess
minding
any
an
other.
appearance from Kane
supposed
either,
to
if we're
do
really going
something.
hard on
Am
Abel's arc.
I supposed to do something?
Yeah, that actually is like the one thing I want to bring up, like a footnote note for when we do discussions. Like, okay, so you wanted a rock star for Abel, like, so who's she going to get for like if she does Kane? Like, obviously, to go for a rock star theme again, but like, that would be a fun brainstorming thing. Like, who would she go with next?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So the
here's a
rock star that's like the opposite of Fall Out Boy.
okay. Want to hear about a really weird cult movie?
What?
A really weird cult movie. It's about how the Russians won World War III. America was turned into a bit of an apocalyptic world, but one of the havens was Las Vegas, which was immediately taken charge of and ruled by the king, Elvis Presley. And after several decades, of good rule, he has dropped dead. Vegas needs a new king. And so, oh wait, you haven't heard the best part yet. Going to take that role is Buddy Holly, who did not die in a plane crash because apocalypse and all that, who joins forces with a small boy who he has to guide there step by step, who has a coming of age journey there, but they are both stalked by Slash from Guns N' Roses, who is going around killing every successor to rock and roll with his heavy metaling, because that was one of the major sources of death for classic rock and roll. The more like metal guitar, not heavy metal, I guess, but whatever you'd call Slash and his electric guitar work. He is literally death in this movie, killing everybody so that he can become the king. So, point B. Hey, this had a point. Would you have guessed? Abel is going to be hard Adam style hard rock, trying to rise and take over. What kind of Slash sort of equivalent would Kane be trying to kill him or be his enemy?
My brain is about to explode. What kind of movie did you just explain to me? I don't
Welcome to Obscure Movie Club, baby.
I don't understand anything you just said.
Was this an 80s movie or not?
80s-ish, yeah.
Why did they have
because like if that was not made in the
as the
80s,
ruler
I would
of
be
the
shocked.
world?
Because like that's such an 80s movie, like this
even Prince would make more sense, because Prince, King, even Prince would make more sense than Elvis Presley.
Elvis was the king. Didn't you know that? That was his nickname.
Yes, I didn't think they would take that literally.
Would you know it?
Actually, Prince would have been a funny way to have him as the.
To resolve that would have been hilarious. But the ending is not Buddy Holly. Not even he was amazing enough to survive the death of rock and roll. The kid, now having completed his coming of age journey, makes it to Las Vegas for an ambiguous but optimistic ending and future for rock and roll.
The random child just
right? It works better in context.
All right, but I guess we probably should be heading off soon because it's almost one. But I look forward to the deeper discussion with all of you about this season and what we look for next.
My brother and Z-Plant are from Las Vegas.
I broke Diori's brain. I apologize.
You broke her.
All right.
Aster and Z-Plant. Aster and Z-Plant are in Vegas.
Wolfie.
All right, but I guess with that said, see you all next time.
Ciao.
Vegas.
Commencing head